Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little crazy. We've decided to DIY install our own snorkel. We've got some river crossings coming up in the next few episodes, and honestly, there's nothing more terrifying than sending your pride and joy into deep water without giving the engine a proper way to breathe. So we're taking matters into our own hands. Yes, that means marking it, drilling it, and eventually cutting a giant hole in the side of the ute. Trust me, this part is not for the faint-hearted. In this episode, we'll walk you through the entire install, the prep, the mistakes, the final fit. If we can do it, you guys definitely can too. So stick around and hit the like and subscribe, and let's get this snorkel on before we tackle those rivers. How you feeling, babe?
Yep, good. Just gotta read through the instructions, make sure I've got all the tools that I need.
But this tool here looks the scariest.
Yeah. So I had to buy that. I just assumed that well, it'd be very similar to the previous install that I did on the PX3, which just required a large hole saw. This one requires still a hole saw, but a different size, a smaller one to drill out a hole in the airbox. And then it's not a perfectly round hole in the guard like it was in the PS3, it's a oval shaped one. So I needed to get that body saw, and I'll be cutting that, which is to me a bit scarier than just drilling a straight hole in. But as long as you line the template up, there's plenty of coverage over and above sort of with the snorkel, so if you go over the line by a mil, it's not going to matter, you're not going to see it. So yeah, should be alright. So, tools required. Well, there's lots. Need some Sikaflex, standing knife, I need a hole saw, I've got a deburring tool, I've got a center punch tool, didn't need that, but I just want it to be sure. I need a long drill bit, a short drill bit. I needed to get a, what do you call it, a bloody body saw, because this one has an oval shaped hole. I need Allen keys, and then the rest are just the parts, that come with the kit. So first job is to remove the airbox. So I've disconnected the sensor for the air sensor. Take the top off, and now we've got to unscrew the bottom part. So I'll just find those screws. There's one here. So it's quite a bit different setup between the next gen and the PX3. This one has a cold air intake. Come around the front there, Mel, you can see that. So that air goes in there, goes down and into the front of the airbox. So they actually come with a blanking plate, this fella here, to put in there. So I need to disconnect that, blank that off. I'm assuming some silicone around there. And then, I haven't got there yet, but somewhere around the front, they'll be drilling a hole into the front, because obviously the snorkel's got to come in from this side here. So yeah, quite a bit more involved than the PX3. And out she comes. Okay, so there you can see I have to drill that out. That's where, so another good thing about this car is they've made this with the intention or the knowledge that snorkels are going to be put on it. So I can blank that off, and then the snorkel will go in there once I drill it out. Nice work, Ford. So, no wonder ARB charged $575. This is a shit of a job. These little pins, it does say in the notes to be careful, but I don't know any other way of taking this guard off without breaking most of them. Okay, so putting the template on now, basically the only two bits you've got to line up is to get this top edge on the edge of that body there, and then this rear edge on the edge of that front quarter panel. So once you're happy with those lined up, everything else just kind of falls into place. From there, And we can just tape the rest up. I put a bit of tape underneath all the parts where I'm drilling holes and cutting. Even though it's got wrap on it, it's just extra bit of protection. And you'd certainly do that if you didn't have wrap, you'd tape everything. Pause on here and get onto the air box and Sikaflex up that so it has a chance to dry before you start putting it back in. I'm not too concerned with that because I don't think I'm going to get to that point today, so maybe I'll just try and do that by the end of the day and then let it dry overnight and put it back in the morning. Definitely won't get to finish it today. They say it's about, well, I've got to do quite a bit of modification on that, so I might even not get to that today. So it's about 4 odd hours worth of work, so it's a lot. In hindsight, probably should have paid the $575 and got RB to do it. But anyway, we have the tools, we have the wheel, we'll get it done. So I'm going to center punch the holes just so I don't start drifting on my front quarter panel. Which wouldn't be nice. Alright, there goes nothing. I need to be careful I don't push through because the fluid bottle's right behind there, so I need to sort of support the drill. Putting such light pressure on. And then there.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. I need to find a 10mm drill bit for that, so I'll just do this first. Now, it gets even scarier because now I've got to use my hole saw. Use a step drill to drill the 6 mounting holes to 16mm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 16mm. Yep, nothing behind there. It should be 16mm. Now I just use my deburring tool and I'll just take the edges off. Oh, I don't need to do that. So I just adjusted the compressor. It said with this thing not to run up more than 90 psi. So it's sitting, yeah, just under there a bit. Away we go. Never used one of these things before. What could possibly go wrong? Which way am I going to go? It doesn't hit. No, there's nothing behind here. We're good. about it. Give it a rough fit. Clears that light nicely. Something like that. Beautiful. Touch-up paint for the holes. Now we put some Loctite on the bolts and they screw into the threads. So almost done for the day. Just marked out and drilled the holes in the A-pillar. Rivets for this one. So we're going to go ahead and rivet it.
So we made a bit of an error here, guys. We forgot to put the washer in underneath those pot rivets. So the next day we had to pull all of that off and put the washer in and redo it. So that was a pain. So make sure you remember to put the washer in underneath. Morning.
Morning. First job up this morning is we have to start modifying the airbox. First two things you need to take out is this, there's one, there's two veins in here, ribs, so they need to come out. I'm just using this little Zito tool. So we'll cut them off and then just grind them flat with, I don't know, a little grindy disky thing. And that's step one of the airbox mods. Next step is to drill out the hole for the air intake. So 4.5mm pilot hole, and now we have an 89mm hole saw to drill out the main hole. So just had to shave off a couple of the fins to give you clearance for drilling. So now we've marked out where we've got to drill 3 4.5mm holes. Still don't understand why I needed to buy such a long drill bit, but anyway. Next, so I've just used these little Medi wipes, that's what I've got, but it was a good idea to thoroughly clean everything before you apply any sort of sticky lubricant. Make sure it sticks. So we're just going to apply a bead of this on the inside of here. So I would suggest using some nitrile gloves because that Sikaflex just gets everywhere. Putting it all back together now. So the airbox is back in. Given that we don't have the cold air intake, I've just screwed that back in. So all it's holding is one bolt there, and it sits in a couple of kind of rubber bungs in the bottom. Then we've installed the incoming hose. It's just sort of nipped up at this stage in case I need to tweak it. Now we've got this stuff it calls Sonoflex, sorry, and that just basically goes in there. Easiest thing to do. There you go. And it says it needs to protrude 175mm. To fit off the snorkel, got a little bit of lubrication on the inside, so it's just a matter of sort of lining everything up all at once.
to have big tyres, eh?
Yeah, well, in this case, yeah. Right, that's all the bolts done up. Now put the head on it. I'll give you a bit of a look inside. I don't know how much you can see, but it's all connected up there. So the hose goes into the snorkel, into the air box there. Little drain hole down there I've plugged up. Air box is back on, air sensors back in. It's all connected and tightened up. And you've got 2 clips on there, and then they just sort of little hooks, these 4 sort of hinge hooks there. So she's all on. That's the snorkel done. I've just got to put all the inner guards and stuff back on. Well, 2 weekends in a row, hard yakka to be honest, but she's done. Very happy with the way it come out. Yeah, it took a lot of work. Modifying the airbox and pulling all those fiddly bloody guards out and stuff, but she's all done. Happy with the way it looks. I just prefer these. The Stano Snorkel, I just make too much noise. I like driving around with the window down, and that'd just do my head in with the Stano Snorkels. So I like the look of these. I like how close, you know, how well they fit to the car body. There's no gaps. It's just a well-made product. So yeah, Safari Snorkel done. Time for a beer and a swim.